Before we start, I want to say this. If you're a beauty professional or service-based business owner who's doing all the right things, but still feels like your income depends on how much you physically show up and how many hours you can squeeze into your schedule, I built my new program for you. Limitless is for the woman who wants to earn more without adding more hours, who needs clearer strategy and the energy and identity shifts that actually move the needle in your business. It is a space where you're not doing this alone and where you can ask me questions anytime. I work super closely with you inside this container alongside a like-minded community of business owners who are serious about their growth as well, but also about life. So if you're ready to grow and want support doing it properly, book a call with me. The link is in the show notes for you. Now let's get into today's episode. Welcome to the Beauty Build podcast with me, Zara King. As a coach for beauty pros, it is my mission to help you earn more, work less, and create an unstoppable mindset. This is the show where we explore all of that. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting your beauty business, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and join us on the journey. And for more, get yourself inside my private community, The Beauty Build on Facebook. So, Lynds, welcome to the podcast and thank you so much for joining me. Can you just tell us when and how and why you got into this gorgeous industry, please?
Of course, thank you for having me. I got into the industry out of necessity, which isn't the sexiest way to get into it. So I've always done my own nails. Looking back, definitely should not have done my own nails. Did not do them very well. But I worked in the NHS for 8 years. Worked my way up, got to quite a high level, had my little boy, and they went, "Oh, you can't come back part-time." And I went, shit.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. And I've always wanted, like, as I used to call it, a little nail cabin in the garden. And Matt always used to say, "We haven't got a garden, Lynds." And I was like, yes, I know that, but one day. And then when I couldn't go back to work, I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to throw myself into it, start a nail business. And thank God it worked.
Yes.
That's how I ended up here.
Amazing. So I'm so glad you just went for it because that's the first step, isn't it? I think
Mhm.
backing yourself and you just went for it.
Yeah.
I bet you don't call it just a little thing anymore, do you?
You know what? Sometimes, but someone I know tells me off when I do that.
Oh, I wonder who that might be. Um,
Yes.
I actually remember the first time that I spoke to you and sent you the details to join the membership. I'd literally just launched it. And I don't know if you know this, but there were a couple of clients in there already that were like one-to-one based.
Mm.
But you were the first non-client that actually joined the membership. So you were like the first real founding member inside there. So it's like a core memory for me. So you're always going to have this attachment to me. You're not getting away from that. I'm sorry.
Good.
Can you tell us, just for the listeners, like where were you in business and also in life, I guess, when you actually decided to go, I'm going to jump in and do this?
I was quite literally sat in bed panicking. I think I was maybe, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 months in. And I'd done the whole like posting on social media thing, and I had leaflets, and I was posting in community groups, and I had a decent amount of clients, but not enough to like pay the bills or anything. And I just remember being like, if I don't do something here, I'm gonna have to go back to working in an office. And I've worked for myself now. I've tasted how nice this freedom is. And I'd like watched a few different workshops with a few different coaches, and I just kept being like, nah, this isn't feeling good. And then I found you, and I was like, I think I'm gonna have to go for this here because you're like the right amount of caring, loving, but also stop being a twat and just do it.
Mm.
And that's exactly what I needed. So yeah, I think I voice noted you or messaged you, and then you voice noted back, and I was like, see, this is what I need, a person, a
Yeah.
real person. And yeah, and then you kindly pointed out how low my prices was, and then it was up from there, really.
Yeah, yeah. The first thing is, are you actually making a profit? What I was going to say is 4 to 5 months in, and then boom, you decide to make it really work. There is something to be said about that. There really is, because so many people in this industry think that they've got to be in it for, like they've got to try and keep slogging it out for a while before they go and get, you know, invest in help and things. How did it feel going, oh my God, I'm signing up to like this £50 a month membership?
I am a very much all or nothing sort of person. So it wasn't out of character, but it
Yeah.
was really scary. Matt was like, to be honest, and if he listens back to this, he's going to be like, you liar. I didn't tell him how much it was to start with because I thought he'd be like, you sure? You should be sending that. But I just think if you're going to do something like this, and it because it felt so good to finally like decide when I want to work and pick who I'm working with and do something that didn't make me sit in my car and cry every night. That literally used to happen. I was just like, I don't want to go back now. So I just thought you're just gonna have to throw yourself in and just if you're going to invest in the training and the kit, you might as well invest in the business side of it. And I think that's what's missing in the industry generally. You invest in like really good training and then you just go, oh, I guess I'll work out how to run a business,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous.
It is. I'm so glad you've said that. I'm so glad. For anyone listening, write that down. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is the point in learning the skill if you're not going to learn how to run a business? And it is funny because it's such a secondary thought, but and it was mine as well. You know, 14 years ago when I learned, I didn't think, oh, how do I run this business? I just asked a couple of questions on the courses, like, oh, okay, so how do you price that, and how do? And it was all very much generic. I don't know about when you trained, but it was all like, oh, well, just have a look at what people are doing in the area, and sort of like go in the middle, and you're like, what on earth is this advice being given, you know? And I think that's no shame on anyone. It's just the fact that they probably aren't business heads either. They just teach you how to do the do. So it's completely different. But I'm so glad you've touched on that. It's so important because actually I think it's in the 70% of people in this industry are self-employed. And so if you're not working for someone else telling you what to do, you need to know what to do.
100%.
Don't you? So what was the biggest mindset shift that you experienced when you realized that the business could be more than just doing generic nail appointments for people?
When you sent me this question, I was like, I don't know how to answer this because it was like everything.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm a little bit of an overthinker and my confidence is relatively low. I think when I realized it was a business and not just do nails, like my whole personality changed and I suddenly went from meek little scared of everything Lynds, which is crazy because the job I was in before, I was still that person, but I'd had to put on this whole work persona to like actually embodying, like I am confident that I'm good at what I do, which is not something I regularly say out loud, but I actually feel it now, which is crazy. And I just it just changed so much in me thinking that you can actually have something big that you create yourself and it isn't just like you self-employed but you have to sacrifice all like the good stuff and you can't go on holiday anymore because you're self-employed now and you just do nails. It was like a whole personality shift. It wasn't just a mindset shift. I don't know if that is a really useless answer,
No,
but
it's not. Absolutely not. I think it's really important for people to know this because my teachings are all about strategy but also identity. You know, depending on what entry level you come in at my world, you're either going to at least be taught the best mindset tools to get you going or the really serious fucking nuts and bolts of your identity and moving into a new identity. Like obviously depending on your entry level. I don't know if you've already experienced some of this and you're ready for that or if you're not, and that's why I have conversations with people. But the point is, it is that. It actually, you know, it sounds like you say, you know, oh, is it like not a great answer? But it is that. That is what it is. And I think so many people think that they've got to learn another content strategy or they've got to learn another, or they've got to try and up their prices again, but that feels hard. Well, it feels hard because you've not grown into the person ready yet. And the strategy feels hard because you've not grown into the person ready yet. And so I'm actually really glad that you said it's just a personality shift. But could you, I mean, do you know exactly why, when, how that happened? Are there a couple of things that you could tell people that actually supports you in getting there? Because some people I find struggle, they need the deeper inner work, but you can't quantum leap that. You
Mm.
have to, there's an element of it, but you have to start somewhere at the basics. You
Yeah.
can't just throw yourself in at the deep end. So
Mm.
is there anything that you think you could?
Yeah, definitely. There was like a few times where I've been like, oh shit, yeah, that changed. The first time was when I was watching one of the videos in the Profit membership around going back and going deeper and deeper into why you have those negative thoughts. I
Yeah.
was on the Stairmaster at the time, which may have been the last time I was on a Stairmaster. But I just remember like working through it and I was like, oh yeah, no, that's why I keep beating myself up over stuff. And I've never, outside of like proper therapy, I've never come across someone that talks about that sort of stuff.
Mm.
And I think that was a big shift because I was like, yeah, it's not actually my fault that I keep thinking I'm not good enough. It's because X, Y, and Z. So that was a big moment. When I put my prices up the third time and didn't feel sick,
Yes.
I was like, yeah, that's because I've actually worked through. I am good enough. I deserve to pay myself. This is a business.
Mm.
But it's like you say, it's not like quantum leaps. It's like the little bits every day. The best piece of advice, shock horror, came from you when you were
Mm.
like, every time you go to say something negative, catch yourself in it and flip it.
Mm.
And I do that several times a day. But
Good.
those little micro steps, I think, led to like the big shift.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Amazing.
that answers the question.
It does. Yeah, it does. I was going to say to you, were there any moments like when we first started working together where you came into my world and you thought, okay, she's different or this is
Mm.
different? And I think that is, you've pretty much answered it. Like there isn't many people that will teach you the actual programming of
Mm.
your brain. But obviously, where I'm trained in the NLP, neuro linguistic programming, for anyone that doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about when I say NLP, it's so important. So that's why I
Mhm.
love doing it. And I think, yeah, it is different. And it's lovely to hear you say that it hits you like that because obviously my work here is so important to me.
Yeah.
And it's so good to hear that it really does hit you and it works. Um, oh, it's given me so much. Yeah, I'm all like tingly now. I love it for you.
Oh, good.
So you weren't actually in the membership for too long either before you decided to move into more one-to-one support with me. So what was it that made you decide to go even deeper?
I think it was the ambition. God,
Yes.
that sounds so big-headed. I knew what I wanted from my business, and I knew the membership is amazing. I don't want anyone to think it's not, but I, as you know, need a little bit more hand-holding sometimes, and I need someone sometimes to be like, "You're doing it again. You're overthinking." Um, and I have an awful lot of questions, so I was like, I need her brain. I think it was that being able to just blur at you and then get you to help me organize it into some sort of order.
Yeah.
Um, and we worked on pricing to start with, didn't we? Which was always the biggest thing for me. I think if I hadn't have had that one-to-one, I don't think I'd have moved quite so quickly because I needed you to sort me out, which you did.
Yeah, it collapses timescales really, doesn't it? Because
Mm.
somebody's going, that's the gap actually. I
Yeah.
think when you're so close to your business, it's so hard to see the gap and to see
100%.
what, not just the gap, like I always say this, and I forget that that sounds like a negative thing, that there's this gap that I can see and you can't see, but actually what I can see is the potential and
Yeah.
what actually fills that gap. That's the most important thing is seeing the filler for that gap, like what we actually should do. So I love that for you. The other thing I wanted to say there is, like you just touched on it, but isn't it daily work?
Mm.
Even then when you said, oh, that sounds really big headed. No, it doesn't. And that's something that you're like working on because that's not okay. So just for everyone listening as well, Lynds is one of my like amazing clients, obviously. But isn't it funny that it's, new level, new devil all the time, challenges
Mhm.
come up. So if you're listening to this and thinking that you still have intrusive thoughts or you still have whatever, so does everybody, but it's
Yeah.
having the toolkit, isn't it, to go, I can work on this, and it actually
100%.
it actually comes to fruition. So tell us how it felt becoming a fully booked nail technician, doing what you love with a wait list, by the way, and actually feeling like you'd done that part of it.
Um, Weird, but in a really good way. It's, I think getting fully booked is amazing, but you also have to like you're just saying, there's more daily work that then comes in because it's like the more successful you get, the more imposter syndrome grows.
Yeah.
So I've loved it, and I think I messaged in the group, didn't I, when I did the maths, and I was like, shit, I'm fully booked. I should probably stop
Yep.
accepting people. And I'm like half super excited all the time and half like, oh, well, this is obviously going to fall apart. So I like you get like the rush of like, yeah, I'm booked, this is amazing, but you still have to do the work. And I think I've got quite a lot of like nail tech buddies now, and those that are reaching fully booked, you can almost see that shift of, oh, well, now I'm fully booked, I must be doing it wrong. So it's like incredible, but also you can't stop the work.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's getting complacent, I think, as well. And so there's two ways, isn't there? You either get complacent and then you realize you have like a rude awakening that, oh shit, I haven't been doing the work because I got
Yeah.
fully booked and then I needed to be and I haven't. That's fine. We work through that. Or you realize that you still want to be doing the work, but actually capacity has taken a bit of a hit, hasn't it? Because you're fully booked. So it's catch 22 and you have to know how to work through that as well, which you had done really perfectly, if I'm honest. I think when you said to me about the numbers and we decided, okay, cool, we're not taking any more then, I always said to you about how you're going to make capacity, didn't I? And we're going to move on to like the other stuff you've done in your career. But I always said to you, like, don't forget your capacity. Capacity comes first.
Mhm.
Somebody once said to me, I think it was Lissy, she was, and I now say it to people because it's such a good analogy. Like when you go shopping, I've probably said this to you before, like you go shopping, you've got all these bags and stuff, but you can't get it all in the wardrobe if there's no space. So
Mhm.
and we do that to ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's so important for people to realize as well, like being fully booked sometimes, like there has to be a real strategic plan behind being fully booked. And
Yeah.
for the listeners that aren't watching me, I'm doing like quotation marks because there has to be real strategy behind it. Because actually, if you're fully booked and exhausted and still not earning enough money, for example, that's not okay.
Yeah.
There has to be some form of capacity to do things. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I'm
it's not
glad.
like the ultimate goal, is it? Like the
No.
reason I was excited to be fully booked is because I was fully booked in the hours I wanted with people I liked, doing the stuff I like, and then getting to come home and chill on like a random Friday because I just decided I wanted it off. I
Yeah.
think people rush to get fully booked, but like you say, they don't have the strategy behind it, and then they're like 70 clients deep, stressing out and not earning and not getting their weekends off and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like fully booked in the right way, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. This is reminded me of a day when you came into the group and you said that you were like booking a massage for that week and you and your little boy were going out and I was like, you live near the beach, so you were going for a beach walk and stuff. And I was just like, this is fucking gold. I was so proud of you. Yeah, I was like, screenshot this. It's going on my story for everybody to see because this is what we do in my world. And that does move me on really nicely because you obviously are a mother as well, which is just the most incredible job in the world. So you have a little boy, and I know that there's also sleep regressions and stuff going on at the minute as well. So
Yeah.
can you tell us how your business growth has affected your time, your energy, your family life as well?
I think um sleep my kid lives in a sleep regression. I think he slept like a week in his life.
Bless him.
Love him, obviously. Best, like you say, best job in the world. But it is a juggle. And
Mm.
I think like 90% of the time I think I get the juggle right. 10% of the time I'm in a little bit of a spiral. Which again goes back to like the daily work, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Um, I think in the early days, I had to really prioritize, which again is where the one-to-one support was really helpful because sometimes you're too close to prioritize and everything feels like really important. And there was the day where I messaged you like, I've got to do my email marketing, I need a website and I need this, and you were just like, why? Why do you need all that? And there was I think it was when you did the Insta call with Shan,
Yeah.
or it was a podcast episode, I can't remember, but you were saying
Yeah.
like
We did
women
the
can have,
live.
yes, yeah. You were saying like women can have it all, but you just can't have it all at the same time, which has really stuck with me because sometimes I think you see all these people online and like they've got these massive businesses and they're taking their kids to Disneyland and they're doing all this cool stuff and they're doing baking and you just think, well, obviously if she's doing it, then I've got to do it all. But you don't see that that's actually over the span of like 6 months, and there
Mm,
was maybe a week where they went to nursery an extra day, or um
yeah.
it's just about getting the balance right, I think. And I, in the early days, probably didn't, but now I feel like I have. Not to say there's not immense mum guilt sometimes, but I think that's okay. Like
Yes.
sometimes I'm like, yeah, that's a good sign. Obviously, I'm guilty, I'm not with him, but also I'm showing him that you can take an idea and turn it into a business and work hard and all that other bollocks.
Yeah. All that other bollocks. Absolutely. And I think it's that permission slip that you're going like to give to other people. Like if I can do it, you can do it. But
Yeah.
also like when you refer to what me and Shan were talking about, there was a live on Instagram on my feed, and then we did a podcast episode on her podcast because she
Mm.
loved it too. And I think it is the case of, we see so much these days. Like I mentioned on that podcast that when I grew up, I wasn't surrounded by shiny fucking millionaires all the time
Mm.
because I lived on a council estate with my sisters and my mum and dad and my cousins around me, and we were just cool kids, like chilling, right? I didn't know how the other half lived, and my dad used to always say, "Oh, how the other half lived." Like
Mm.
but I didn't know. I didn't actually know how the other half lived. I didn't see it all the time. Now I do because it's all over my freaking phone all day
Yeah.
long. Like it's everywhere. And so, like now, women want it all more than ever. We
Mhm.
want, and also, I feel like we're so pressured into thinking we should. There's so many shoulds, isn't there?
Yeah.
And what you've just said there is just somebody else's permission slip to go like, it's all got to be actually what's right for you. It doesn't need to
Mhm.
look like anybody else's way of having it all, doing it all, whatever,
Yeah.
and can't have it all at the same time. Ah, I love this. Thank you so much. We have to talk about this idea that you all of a sudden had to help
Mhm.
other nail techs, right? So,
Yes.
what was this spark and how did we bring this to life?
Um, well, as you know, I'm a nervous being, and as you know, was very anxious starting a business and was very overwhelmed and stuff. And I just thought there's not really many spaces where people can go, and there's not many spaces that are heavily, I'm going to say weird. I'm a weirdo. Like, I like weird things. I like loud music and wearing all black. There's not like many more alternative spaces. So I wanted to do what I did in the nail world, but for nail techs. And
Hmm.
I wanted somewhere that's a little bit rough around the edges and a little bit too sweary. And it's not for everyone. There's definitely some people that find my society page and go, no, I don't like her, which is cool. That's okay.
Yeah.
Um, and I spent so much of my career in like leadership and mentorship. And then I just like dropped it overnight, didn't I? I left my career and I was just like, I'd done like more than three-quarters of a master's and then never finished it because I had my little boy.
Hmm.
And I just thought I want to do something with this because I don't miss management, but I miss leadership. I miss being able to like help someone when they're just like, shit, what do I do here? And I just wanted to merge the two. So
Yeah.
I did.
And you did, and you smashed it. So you had an amazing founding launch, actually. So how did that feel when you went out to gain these founding members and then your top tier pretty much filled up within weeks? What made that happen? What do you think made it so successful?
I think like being really raw and honest online, which
Mm.
if you went back and met Lynds 3 years ago and said, I need you to post your face on the internet and just talk about how hard life is, she'd have probably ran off. She wouldn't have even answered you. She'd be gone out the door in her car, driving as far away as possible. But I think being like super real and not too polished
Mm.
sort of gave a feel for the membership and the space I wanted to create. And yeah, I genuinely think that's what brings people in. Because when I get feedback from them, when they talk about what they love the most, it's always the community side of it, and it's always the fact that they can just come and rant or cry or laugh or just say, "What the fuck do I do?" And
Yeah.
I think that is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to like I was saying, I wanted to be that space for someone to come and be like, I've got all this to do and I don't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was every single time someone joins, I wherever Matt is, whether he's in the house or somewhere else, I like run to him, call him, like, someone else is in, someone else trusts me. Um, and I'm quite honest with that as well. When they join, I'm like,
Yeah. I love that. There's something massive to be said about what you just mentioned about when people come to your page, they either like love it or they hate it type thing.
Mhm.
This is what I say about attracting people and repelling people. And everybody's, not everybody, but the majority of people that don't understand their positioning, their messaging, their marketing, their attraction, they don't love that, do they? And it's hard at first. How did it feel for you when I was saying to you, right, well, we need to stand for something, like we need to actually decide what is the real
Yeah.
thing here? How did that feel?
Scary. It's
Scary.
terrifying. I'm a massive people pleaser, and when you told me I needed to repel people, everything in my beat, every single cell went, "Well, I'm not doing that." But it's exactly the right thing to do. And I think when you don't do that, especially like on the client side,
Mm,
when I look back some of the clients I had and how uncomfortable I felt for like because it used to take me like 4 hours with the nail art I used to do and how slow I was.
mm,
Sitting with people you're not connecting with for 4 hours is a really long time. And
yeah,
you have that like awkward pit in your stomach, like I need to think of something to say, but I don't know what to say. And then you say something that's really cringy. You're just like, I don't want to be here anymore.
yeah,
So it's the right thing to do, but it's terrifying.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
100% have to do it.
Yeah, you do. And it's not like we don't love these people. We do. It's
Mm.
just that they don't like need to be in our business world.
Yeah.
That's okay. We
It's
still,
that like not everyone has to like you, and that's something that I think that like daily work that
yeah,
needs to be a big part of it, especially I've not met a nail tech yet who isn't a people pleaser. I feel like it might be in our job description, and I think trying to get out of that to push people away is quite hard. So
yeah,
I do find myself constantly saying not everyone has to like you.
yeah.
It's okay, you don't all actually have to be friends.
Yeah, yeah. And I find as well, like, I don't know if you know anything about human design, but we are, like, for example, for me, some of us have got like the real people person in us as well, just by our human design, not only by our profession. And so in this industry, if we've got people that are in this personal care industry, holding people's hands all day, touching faces, waxing vaginas, or doing whatever they do that's really intimate and personal, like, then you've got on top of that a human that is designed to actually go, I have to please people. I want to be liked.
Yeah.
It's insane how the daily work, like you say, plays such a role. And it's not about the other person, it's about you. It's like, who are you being, and accepting and validating and moving through the hard stuff that comes up, because it's not to say we diminish it and it's bad or it's wrong, but it's like it's not helpful, and
Mm.
that's why we have to move through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally love that you said that. Do you know what came up for me as well just then when you were talking about spending 4 hours with someone that you don't mesh with and nail
Mm.
art and stuff? Can we just touch on your nail art, by the way? So good. And by the way, for any listeners, if obviously all the details are in the description to follow Lynds, but she's an incredible nail artist. And I just want to say, is that such a big thing, like for you guys in your society as well? Do you help nail techs with a lot of that as well?
Do you know what? I seem to have attracted some of the best nail techs in the world. Their nail art is insane. So I do have tutorials in there, but I feel like I'm teaching a fishman. What's the phrase?
I don't
Fisherman
know.
to catch fish, whatever the phrase is. Like I'm just telling them stuff they already know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in there, whether they use it or not. They're probably like, yeah, I can do that with my eyes shut.
I love
But we
that.
do bond over it, and I think like they don't all do nail art. There's a few like clean girls in there. There's an acrylic artist who doesn't touch gel nail art with a barge pole,
Ah,
but we can all connect over the creativity, which is quite nice. And
yeah.
sometimes we'll like throw a design in, and we're all just like fangirling over how good it is.
Oh, that sounds so nice. So now it's been how long has your membership been live for now?
It started in July last year.
Okay, so we are now February, so it's not been live a year. Can I just say, and this is going to throw you off course because I didn't put this question in when I emailed you to get on the pod, but when we first started mapping out your membership, you were really scared because you hadn't been a nail tech for for long enough.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about that for a minute? How long had you been in nail tech before you started your membership?
Well, I've not done it 2 years yet, so it probably would have been like I started planning it in April, so I'd been doing it 13 months.
Isn't it amazing? Again, permission slip to anyone
Mhm.
listening. And what would you say to somebody that has any thoughts or opinions on that? What would you say?
Don't care. I think you, again, another nugget from you. You were like, it's not just what you've done in the industry, it's what you've done before that. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that's the whole reason I want to do it.
Yeah.
I read the let them theory
Hmm.
by Mel, whoever, sorry, I don't know her name.
Mel Robbins.
Thank you. And I really try to hold on to that a lot.
Mm.
Like, I think it goes way further than just that book. But anytime I start to get that self-doubt, because a lot of the early content about the society was me trying to prove myself.
Hmm.
And then I spoke to you and you were like, doing it again. And I look back now and I'm like, yeah, just let them. Like if you don't think I've been doing it long enough to build this membership, cool, don't join.
Yeah. So powerful. And I'm so glad that you said that. But also in a way that, I don't think anyone would think that. And it's interesting that we've worked through that. It's interesting that you think some people might say that. I bet no one has said it to you
No,
ever.
it's always the way though, isn't it? You think so hard what the other person's going to think about you, and then you just keep spiraling and you make it worse and worse and worse. There was a point where I thought I was genuinely going to get hate mail.
Crazy, crazy lady.
Imposter syndrome is like the strongest drug in the world.
It is. Do you know it's real? It's a real deal. And also, what I want to say is that, say, for example, somebody did ever feel a certain way about that, and this is for the listeners really. If you are sitting there thinking you want to go into something and you want to do either it's mentoring or helping people or education, because that's where we tend to go in this industry.
Mhm.
Whatever that looks like, in person, online, I don't care. But you're telling yourself that you can't do it because you've not been around long enough. I can bet you'll look at somebody that has done it really quickly and you'll be like, oh, well, she shouldn't have because she's not been around long enough. And I just want to say to anyone thinking that way, that's your internal identity problem and you're mad at
Mhm.
yourself.
Mhm.
This is what I said to people. I've said it to people before when they come into my world and they're like, oh, yeah, but, she's done this and I feel like I could do that. But you're mad at yourself just because you haven't taken that risk. You haven't taken the leap. And I think it's just a permission slip for everyone listening. If you've got a dream, you can go out there and get it done. You've just got to put the wheels in motion and work on yourself before the result happens.
Mhm.
So yeah, thank you so much for answering that for me. So I know that was going to sort of be a be a little go off track one. But let's celebrate you for all the things that you've done right. You've now been in publications. You've now been on podcasts.
Mhm.
So I'm really proud to see you in this new light and shining and helping people and doing all of this. So how does it feel?
Unreal.
Unreal. I love it.
The most recent thing that happened was I wrote an article for Scratch magazine, which is so far out of my comfort zone. I had an out of body experience when I messaged them and said, would you be interested in this? And then when the magazine actually came, I was like, ah. And Corey went, Mummy, that's you. And I was like, yeah, it is.
So nice.
Yeah, it's unreal. And it's something that I don't think about enough. And I think everyone's a bit guilty of it, not going back and being like, shit, yeah, we did that in this year.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I've got no other words other than unreal.
I love that for you. Isn't it amazing? And do
Yeah,
you know what, as well? You touched on there. You just put yourself forward. You just ask. You just, keep
you
going.
have to.
Yeah.
You can't wait for anyone else to come because you always think everyone's watching you and you think, oh, where's my opportunity? You haven't asked for it. You wouldn't sit there waiting for an Uber to turn up if you've not booked it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
You've
I'm
got to
nicking
put
that
yourself
one.
out there. Go for it.
So good. So for anyone listening right now, other than the fact that we can use the Uber analogy, if there is someone who is if there is someone who is one, oh my God, fucking hell. If there is someone listening who is where you once were, There we
Yes.
go. As in, trying to get fully booked, or maybe they're undercharging like you were at the beginning, or they're burnt out and, they don't know what that next move is. What would you say is crucial for them in reaching those goals that they have?
You have to start thinking as a business, not as a person.
Yeah.
I think that is the biggest. The second you go, yes, this is a business, you can start thinking more, not objectively, but you can like take yourself a bit higher and look into it. I think when you just think, oh, I'm just a nail tech,
Mm-hmm.
you're a bit too close to it and you just think, well, I can't charge more because I'm just a nail tech and they're just nails. As soon as you like step out and you go, yeah, I've decided to take this step to become self-employed and run a business, you look at it very differently. You start researching different and getting support differently and stepping into a different world that isn't just, I've said different so many times now. um,
But it is.
you go from just looking at nails on Instagram to looking at strategy and how to actually get clients, not just posting, and how to like grow your improve your mindset, and you start treating it with the respect it deserves. And if you're not going to respect it as a business, like why should anyone else?
Yeah, it's key. And it is
It
key.
sounds harsh. I know.
Let it be harsh. Let it be known that it isn't an easy game. It is
Yeah.
sometimes we have to be harsh because it's a stark reality of the real deal. It's not
Mhm.
sunshine, rainbows, unicorns, and all that lovely jazz. It's actually a business. And if you're not in profit, you're not in business. And so many of us don't know our numbers in this industry. That's what pains me. But the key word you use so often there is different, like you
Mhm.
said. And I think you pull yourself up on using the same word, but it's just fucking true. It's like if you want different results, you've got to do something different, haven't
Yeah.
you? Um, but also, really, thank you for saying that you've got to see it as a business. I almost get from you as well when you answered that you have to remove yourself from it. And how
Yeah.
easy is that for you now to go, I can emotionally remove from the outcomes? I can sort of like see myself as a separate entity.
Mm.
Do you know, is that easy for you now?
Not easy. I still have to check myself. Like there's decisions when it comes to like making a big decision, like recently I've changed the tiering system. I started I could almost like see myself thinking, right, so I wouldn't want this. And then I was like, no, wait, you're too close. Step out. You have to almost have think of yourself as like an employer of yourself rather than
Yeah.
like part of it. Do you know what I mean? Um, but you have to like choose your hard, which is my current phrase of the month.
Hmm.
Like, yes, this is hard to separate myself and to make these difficult decisions that feel like people might be unhappy with me, but it's also really hard to not be able to pay my mortgage. So it's like choosing which is harder out of the two. Um, does that answer it? So it's
Yeah.
easy, but it isn't.
Yeah. 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 I think it's like the practical side of it is what you said, like thinking about it realistically, what is harder,
Mm.
And yeah, you've got to remove yourself, I think, from it. And like we've said as well, common theme of the whole episode, you've got to work on yourself so that you can do that, haven't you, really?
Yeah.
Um, because until you are so self-aware, you almost can't do that in
Hmm.
in my opinion,
Yeah.
you've got to be so self-aware to be able to do that. So I like to finish up on the pod with a funny story. I know you know this. So just because, like it's quite a serious conversation telling people pick your hard and remove
Yeah.
yourself from the situation and do this and take your business really seriously. So I like to just brighten people's days at the end and let them know that not everyone is like perfect, even though you're in
Mhm.
an amazing position and you've done so well. So is there anything you can tell us that makes you cringe or makes you laugh or that the listeners need to know about you that will inspire them a little bit to realize that you are just a human being?
How long have we got?
We've got ages. Keep going.
I was chatting to my friend who is a beginner nail tech who had no choice but to join the membership. Um, and I was saying, I don't know how to answer this because my entire life is cringy. I'm always doing little like cringy, embarrassing things. I frequently say, okay, but I love you to clients and then go, no, shouldn't have said that. That's the wrong thing. But I was thinking, how do I like summarize it? And The best thing I can say is every time I've thought that was really cringy and then eventually brought it up, they've gone, didn't even notice.
I love that.
Didn't even realise you'd done that. I think it always feels cringy, especially with like social media and like recording yourself. And I was literally before this chatting to one of the members who's she really wants to get herself online, but she's really scared. And I was like, I promise you, no one will care.
Yeah.
Like, I've looked back at the states of some of me in some of the videos, and just I remember at the time being like, well, I can't post that because I've not done my makeup or my hair's a mess, or oh, that was a really cringy way to say that. No one gives a shit.
No, exactly.
Everyone's so like you focused on yourself, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I guess every day is slightly cringy, but just move past it, feel
I
the
love it.
cringe. It's vibes, isn't it? People
Yeah.
love a bit of cringe.
It's vibes. I like it. Well done. I feel like as well, saying that, we tell ourselves all these stories, don't we? Like, I can't show up like this, I can't show up like that.
Yeah.
And actually, what you said at the beginning, or nearer to the beginning, is that you've based your community on realness,
Mm.
rawness, like being yourself. So that's got something to say, hasn't it? And yeah, I just think you've got to embrace that cringe and just know that humiliation is the price of entry, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think people connect with that so much. Like
Yeah.
I have had some really embarrassing conversations with my clients, some like really open conversations. We get into like family issues, like daddy issues come up all the time. Like we
Yeah.
get really into it and we talk about really embarrassing things that have happened. And I think that's what makes them want to keep coming back 'cause you're more human and they know that they can be as relaxed as you are. Um, and exactly the same online. I think if you're really open with it, obviously don't like, as I said to my client, don't get your tits out. That's too far. But just be like open and honest. I think people connect a lot more with that, and it just takes the pressure off it. Like it's not that deep.
Yeah,
Like, yes, it's
exactly.
important. You want to grow your business and all that, but
Mm.
no one's watching you as closely as you are. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, and I think as well, like saying it's not that deep is so true because you're doing your best now. Like you wouldn't show up being something other. Do you know what I mean by that? I can't explain it properly, but what I'm trying to go for is I get people come into my world, for example, that have a vision, and I'm like, show
Mhm.
up like the vision then. Right,
Yeah.
show up like the vision. Now, at first, when you're showing up like the vision, it is a little bit funky. It's a bit off. It's a bit cringe. It's a bit, oh, I'm not really sure because it's the first time that you're like stepping into this new thing.
Mhm.
So you are going to look back and laugh. You are going to look back and cringe, but actually, like you're doing the best you can based on like what you think is right at the time. Like you're not.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone is, especially not in my world and your world. Like we attract like fucking great people, right? Like they're not going to be showing up doing anything untoward that's
Mm.
going to get them cancelled. And so, yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like, of course, it's going to feel funky, but it's the best that you've got today.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I
100%.
feel about it. Oh God, I could talk to you all day. Is there anything going on that you want anyone to know about at the moment with the membership or anything?
We are doors closed at the moment, but there's something very exciting coming in a couple of months, couple of weeks, not months, crikey. So follow along and join the email membership for that. I'm
Yes.
trying not to give too much away yet.
No, no, keep it to yourself. That's fine.
But it's growing loads. There's so much in there this week already. There's like we're going to do like paint alongs and stuff coming up, which will be really cute. And yes, we're allowed to bring wine. I've approved that. So that's the vibe, you know what I mean? It's like proper chill. It's not like you have to be your best self all the time. If you want to come in your pajamas with some wine, let's paint some shit on some nails.
I love that. So, where should everyone find you? What should I link below? Your Instagram?
Um, yes, so I am on TikTok, but if I'm honest, she's been left alone for a while. So Instagram's the best place to go. I'm Black Canvas Society for all the nail techs, Black Canvas Nails, Bournemouth for everything else.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, pretty
Awesome.
pretty easy to find.
Quite easy. Brilliant. I'm going to link everything anyway. So it'll be super easy for people to connect. And if there is anything that you want me to put in this show notes when you do your big launch thing that's happening or the exciting thing that's coming up in a couple of weeks or months that we can't talk about, then let me know and I can put that in at the bottom or something later on in time. So if you're listening to this past March or
Mhm.
whatever,
Yeah.
then Have a look in the description. I don't know. There might be something fun. I have no idea.
Mysterious.
I know, it's so mysterious. I don't even know what's going on here. We need to have a chat. Okay, cool. So thank you so much for doing this with me today. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you. And yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. And everyone listening, I will see you on the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights that will help you in your beauty business and life. If you did, please take a screenshot and tag me in your stories. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials. The links are always in the descriptions. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you more and more great content. Until next time, keep building that business.